Welcome to the Indie Music Room, a conversation with independent artists about writing, recording, performing, and promoting their original music. And now here's your host, Heather Kelly.
Hey everybody, you're listening to Heather Kelly with the Indie Music Room, and I'm super excited today to introduce to you somebody I've been speaking with, and her name is Graice K. She's an amazing artist. She's got a lot going on in her world, so I want her to introduce herself to you guys and tell everybody what she's all about. Graice, welcome. How are you?
Thank you so much, Heather. I am good. How are you?
Great.
Good. I'm so glad we got to do this. I am Graice K. I'm a self-produced artist, and I am a college student at CSU Northridge. I'm studying film production, and I'm minoring in psychology. So, I like to incorporate all that stuff into my music. I think we could probably get into that, but I'm really excited to talk about it today.
Yeah, exactly. What are you majoring in? You said film in college or okay. Well, I think
film production in college.
Okay. That is so cool because that ties into, a lot of being a musician. Nowadays everything is online.
Totally.
You need the visual with the audio. So why don't you tell us how you got started in music and was your family musical or did you, what's your story?
Yeah. So my mom was pretty musical growing up. She had a really good singing voice and we would always like sing in church and stuff. And my sister and my mom are actually kind of the natural singers of the family.
Uh-huh.
I kind of had to like figure it out. Like I had to kind of apply myself more. And I think I was more interested in like the production of music. And so like, I think when I was like 11, that's probably like the first significant musical story. I like called my mom over. She like is really good mom. She made me practice the piano for years and years and years, even though I fought and cried and spit at her. And so I'm really thankful.
It was more of a punishment than it was anything. Yeah.
Right. For a long time it was, but now I'm so thankful to her that she kept making me do it. And like one day I called her over and I was like, I just like wrote this song. And the way that she tells the story, she's like, when you're a mom and your kid tells you that they wrote a song on the piano, you kind of roll your eyes and you're like, okay, what is this going to be like? And then she said, like, I played it and she was like, it's so beautiful. She cried and she like had no idea that I had this talent. And then she's like, okay, I'll get less mad when you don't practice what you're supposed to be practicing now. and so that's when it kind of took off. And I like realized that I had, kind of this, innate ability to create music. And my mom and my sister are really good at like sight reading and interpreting music. So our talents are different, but, so then from there, you know what, I contributed to Apple, thank you Steve Jobs, and GarageBand on the family iMac, and I kind of just spun out from there. And I think that's a similar story to a lot of independent artists. So
that is so cool. I can relate to what you're saying about, some people just having that natural talent, and it may be more in a vocal choir way or something, but I too, I got away from sheet music, because I wanted to create my own.
Yeah.
And I think that that way you develop your own style too, your sound and stuff. But
Totally.
I can't sit down and just sight read, music. I wouldn't want to do that. But
yeah, I mean, I kind of wish I could, because I think there's a really awesome ability to like take technique from other artists. Like if you can really nail down a really, awesome song, then you can kind of take that and apply it. But yeah, it's just not something that has come naturally to me as hard as I've tried for years and years and years. My poor piano teachers, they probably thought that I was like, who is this like dumb girl who she's been playing piano for years, she still doesn't know like where the F is. And
no, well, I'm sure that they had a lot to do with your success now, but at the time they're like
thankful. yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your writing process. When you do write, and what kind of music? I mean, I know what it is, but why don't you explain what kind of music you do to everyone?
So I think I simplify it as pop. And then I kind of think that, I try to be a little bit more alternative and experimental and innovative when I can be. But I think pop is like the purest form of music, and like pop melodies are supposed to be like the catchiest and like the most impactful. And so I always try to like reach that pure, form. And I don't try to like cop out and say, well, it sounds weird, but it's like, experimental. I try to keep it pop centered. So yeah, my writing process has changed over the years, and it changes with every project and it changes with every song. But I think it oscillates between like me having something to say and then like a really good, couplet will come to mind. And then I like sit down and put that to the piano, or the opposite will happen where I just have like this musical idea. Like I have like a motif and I'll hear it in my head, and then I'll sit down and I'll put it to logic, and then then the words will come later. So yeah, and it's usually pretty in direct correlation with what I'm experiencing in my life, and like it's kind of a coping mechanism and a processing thing for me.
Mm-hmm. And it's when you write, I tend to write from what is going on in my life too, and I feel like when you do that, you'd be surprised how many people can relate to what you feel inside, right?
Yes. Like the more specific I am, and I've heard this from a lot of artists. I think Lorde is like one of my inspirations, and she said it before. Like the more specific you are, the more genuine you are. It kind of has like the opposite of maybe what you would expect, because the effect is like people relate to that genuine emotion. And so if you kind of like try to make it like watered down, then people won't like resonate with it as much. But I like the lines in these songs are like real things that happen to me, like so specifically, and we'll hear it in spoilers, like really down to like the exact details that happen, and then people really like those lines and still relate to them. So yeah, it's cool.
I'll tell you what's fun is, and I've done this for 20 years now, so when you go back and listen to some of your work you did 17, 18, 20 years ago, because we write from our hearts, I'm a pop artist too. I feel like the minute I hear that, and I haven't listened to some of the old stuff for so long, but when I do listen to it, it takes me right back to where I was at in the moment. It's like, oh, I don't know if it's painful or good or whatever, but
no, it's like a journal entry. It's like a time capsule. It's so special. I love it.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Why don't you tell me where was your mind at during the writing process of your song the first song we're gonna play, which is called "Waiting for Love to Come Back Around." Tell me where you were at with that. Sounds kind of explanatory, but
yeah, it is kind of self-explanatory. I'm waiting for love to come back around. I had just moved to LA. It was post-pandemic. I had just transferred to the college I'm at now. I live in a studio apartment by myself, which is by choice because I am a tortured artist. And I was feeling like I was so excited for like my social life to become more enriched. And I was so excited to like experience these things. But like it wasn't happening yet, it's like it takes some time for you to warm up to like your new environment. And so I was like feeling like, oh man, I was like nervous but excited, and I was like a little bummed out, and like I think we all have like trauma from the isolation of the pandemic. I was like living alone in Berkeley, so it was like extra thoughts and extra reflective and extra yearning for me. And so yeah, I'm waiting for love to come back around was like this sweet earnest thing, and I did it in like it was like a crazy like 24 hours thing. Wow. And the funny part about it is, so I export that file that we have all listened to, if you've listened to the album, and then I go to quit the project and I don't save it. And so that MP3 file is literally the only like version of the song that I have. And I'm so thankful that I have it and that it sounds decent. Yeah. And I was like kind of angry about it at first. I was like, I wish I had gotten, the ability to like, because I can't recreate what I did. I don't even, it was like, yeah. And so I was just like, I wish I could like go back and mix it or like change this note, because nothing is auto-tuned and like everything is just raw off the cuff. It was supposed to be like the first demo of the song, but I think I'm so glad that it is what it is, because people really like that song. That's one of the most popular songs on the album, and I think the rawness of it was actually a strength. So I'm glad that I didn't get to go back and touch it. Yeah.
Well, maybe it was meant to be. Don't do it again. But maybe it was meant to be that
time. No, totally. Yeah.
All right. With that said, everyone, let's listen to the first song, "Waiting for Love to Come Back Around."
something too strong. If you last, you go to bed, and I see the sun setting. No memories are even upsetting me, 'cause I haven't missed you yet. You were too cool to forget, but I am scared to death that I'm always gonna be scared to death. Not a soul to hold me down, there's no one to replace your sound. I'm waiting for love to come around, I'm waiting for love to come back around, back around. Around me, and I gotta be patient. Don't let in the anxiety, but I can just taste it. The new love waiting for me. I haven't missed you yet. You were too cool to forget, but I am scared to death that I'm always gonna be scared to death. Not a soul to hold me down. There's no one to replace your sound. I'm waiting for love to come around, I'm waiting for love to come back around, back around. Back around. And the people outside don't know me. I don't wanna be scared and lonely, holding out. Sometimes you gotta hold yourself up with the pieces of broken past and unpromised futures. Watch the time pass and hope you don't lose her. The girl that you were, the girl you knew was waiting for love to come back around, back around. Come back around.
All right, guys, that was Waiting for Love to Come Back Around. That is a beautiful song. Last night I was listening to these, and my goodness, girl, we need to talk about this, but you have quite a little following and a YouTube channel.
Yeah,
like 30,000 subscribers. Tell me all how you got into that.
Oh man, that was like a high school endeavor. I think I kind of bit off more than I could chew. I like started making YouTube videos, and I was like, I like did online high school my last year of high school, so I had like way too much free time, and it was so fun. And I just like started filming myself and uploading daily, and I started really getting into like, I started getting hyper fixated on the algorithm, and I was like, how do I like hijack this? Like I bet I could make a viral video. Like I like started collecting all this data, and this is kind of how I work. And like when I get, you know, when I feel this energy, I'm like, I know I can do it. Then I like get really obsessed with it. And so yeah, I just posted this video. It's kind of like my little debut into the internet, and it's called like calling out Joanna Cedia, which was this other YouTuber that was really big at the time. And it's kind of like me spoofing like a song. It's really silly and comedic, and it like accidentally got a lot of views. I think it maybe has like 100,000 or 200,000 views. So then after that, I know, yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, I remember the day that this was all happening, the like views and the followers and the comments and the follows started pouring in. And I was just like sitting on my phone. I was like in school. I was like paralyzed. I like couldn't say anything to anybody.
Yeah.
I was like trying to focus
This is
on my
not
schoolwork,
happening
and I was
right
like,
now.
yeah, I was like, what is going on? I was like supposed to be giving a presentation that I had completely forgotten about. And I was like, oh, and I like got up there and I was like blacking out. But yeah. So then from there, it just like kind of grew, and I just kept posting, and it was really fun. I'm so thankful I think a lot of I don't do it anymore, like to the extent that I did, but I think a lot of the people that were into it at that time still, like, I have like a little community that stayed, and they now support me in my music, and I'm so thankful for them. It's so fun, and I'm so blessed.
Awesome. That's really fun. Tell me a little bit about your recording process. So do you do it in-house, or do you go to a studio?
Yep.
Oh, you do it all in-house?
So I don't go to studio. I can't afford it, and I wouldn't even know how to begin to do that. And so I just really, I'm kind of the mindset. I hope that this will inspire somebody listening to this. I'm of the mindset that like the lean startup, you can look that up. It's a change maker concept introduced to me by one of my mentors at Berkeley named Alex Budak. And it's this concept of like, you start with like the bare minimum equipment, and you kind of make that to be the best that you can be. And then you kind of build from there. And so that's like the philosophy behind it. And then the technical application is like, you can really mix vocals from anything now. I mean, absolutely. You can take your iPhone. Yeah, it's insane. You can take your iPhone and record your vocals with your iPhone, and then Logic has amazing stock plugins that are all come with the software. If you can do like the initial down payment of $400 and you want to watch 10,000 hours of YouTube videos, which is what I did, then you can fake it. And so people are like really impressed. I hear the imperfections in it. But people are impressed that I record in this apartment, but I record in my studio apartment, and I have a little Warm Audio microphone. It's the Warm Audio 47. And that was an upgrade from my last album. My last album, I used a $20 USB mic. So
did you really?
Yeah. So like, you just really have to be, I think you have to be self-aware of like what you sound like, and then have like the technical knowledge to fix it. And like, then I feel like you're on your way, because then you can mix and mix and mix until you have like something that sounds decent. So
you know what you said, I think that's very important, is you are right that those tools are available to anybody nowadays. But what a lot of people do that maybe perhaps they didn't do what you did. I heard you say 10,000 hours. You have to learn that and research it. And I hear a lot of music come out and people are doing it, but they don't take the time to really learn that blending and that mixing technique. And so I really appreciate the fact that you say, you dove into it and watched the videos and learned the tools and the equipment, because I think that shows in your music. That shows.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. All right. The next song we're going to talk about is Spoilers. This song to me, I felt like it almost had this little electronic, like the boom, boom. It had that constant, beat
like
through it. So tell me about that one.
Yeah. So this song is just it is so awesome. I'm so like, I love this song emotionally. I love all these songs emotionally. There's 18 songs on the album, and these are just like some of my top 3, but my favorites oscillate all the time. But Spoilers is just such a standout to me. The album was almost called Spoilers, by the way, but I thought If You Love It, Let It Die better encapsulated like the whole theme. But Spoilers is like such a raw emotion, and I started off. So this whole, album, if you couldn't tell, is about a failed relationship. Yeah. And this song is like just kind of like the last straw.
Yeah.
And it's just me, like, it happened on a very specific night where things were like really ended, finalized. And I had been writing down this stuff because you're in this relationship. I'm sure that you've experienced something like this with all your wisdom, but like, you're in this relationship and you know that it sucks and you know that you deserve better and you can get better, but you can't bring yourself to leave. I don't know what that is. I'm a psychology.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like, I have tried to look for the psychology phenomena that explains that insane cognitive dissonance, but I will let you know when I find it. Yeah, it's it's awful. And it's like, I'm such an intellectual and I can reason out of it. But like emotionally, I'm also just a big feeler. And so those things the feelings win. It's crazy. But
and then I get mad at myself when I couldn't get out, because I would be like, you're smarter than this, Heather. Like, what is the problem?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yes, totally. So I have all these anecdotes that I had been keeping like quite literally in a notes app on my phone. And I like sat down and it just started like pouring out of me. And there's so many words and spoilers. It's like 3 pages of lyrics in my lyric booklet that you can download for free, by the way.
Cool.
And yeah. And so I just like sat down and I wrote it out, and I just find it like, you know, I think my initial intention with every song is like to kind of make it maybe sad, because that's how I feel in the moment when I'm writing it, like maybe kind of wistful. But I was like, no, I want something edgier. And so I like sat down on this synth behind me and I like played around with that synth sound that you hear at the beginning of the song and throughout the song. And I was like, yeah, this is really good. And I think you can kind of hear, because I had some of these anecdotes at the beginning before it ended finally, like the progression of the song is like authentic. Like I kind of start out in the chorus, you'll hear like, I miss him loving me. And then the middle chorus is, do I miss him loving me? And then the end chorus is like, I don't. And it's because these are really, these are real linear events that happened that I was like writing down and documenting in real time. And so, it was so awesome. And then I like, also, this was another like 24-hour, once I had all the lyrics, it was like a big 24-hour whirlwind of production. And not all the songs on this album are like that. All 3 of the ones that I sent to you pretty much are. And that when it flows, it flows. So it does.
With that said, you guys, let's listen to Spoilers. It's a good one. Here we go.
No, I don't miss the boy who missed my birthday party, but made sure he was at his girl best friend. I don't miss the boy who used me for my body, empty sorry smoking pinky promises. I don't miss the boy who dropped my hand as soon as all his friends walked in, said I wasn't his priority. Don't miss the boy I drove around, a secret life he leave me out of, but I miss him loving me. It was just a dream, but I beg to believe, and I believe, oh yeah, I believe. I don't miss the boy who told me that he loved me when we drove home from the parties. Didn't wait in my car talking, look up, see his roommates watching. When they came up to accost us, he told me wait in the car. But when I got out trying to talk, he told me I was being hostile. Funny looking back now, when they've sold him out. Sasha, he told me he needed me, otherwise we both agree. All the times I thought I'd leave, but your son stops apologies. Think maybe you would understand. He calls you a religious man, and watching him fall into darkness kills me when I know the plan. And all the traitors, Pharisees, who added to his living hell. Lovely, you can see my side, but you're worse than what you dispelled. And everyone who wants the story, look at how you see me now. Would anyone
warned you guys. That was spoilers. Here we're talking to Graice K, originally from Washington, I believe.
Yeah,
Why don't
born
you tell
in
me?
Seattle.
I'm sorry.
Born in Seattle.
Oh, in Seattle. Okay.
In Silverdale specifically, but Seattle for people who don't know where that is.
Okay. Never been. Never been. Um, Tell me, are you playing all the instrumentation on these songs, or do you
Yeah.
have people coming in and out?
No, okay, so for these songs that I sent you, I play everything. I play not like 99 to like 95% of everything you hear on my albums. There's two songs on this album that I got help with. One of them is Dating White Boys in the 21st Century. That was produced by my friend. Yeah. That was produced by my friend Ethan, and he goes by Nuisance on streaming platforms, and he's got really great music. And then the other song is 18, and that was I got some guitar riffs from my friend Alex Chan, who he goes by Hydrotone Music. And yeah, they just spiced it up. He spiced it up for me a little bit, so that was awesome. But yeah, I for the most part, I don't feel comfortable asking people to do free labor for me, and so I just end up doing it for myself. And yeah, it's mostly like synths and stuff and piano stuff, but yeah, all the guitar you hear is me as well, and that's why it doesn't sound so awesome.
No, I think it's great.
So,
You know,
thank you.
don't feel too bad about collaborating with other people, because the more you do that and they see your talents and what you can bring to the table, it's
Yeah.
reciprocal. You know, I have
Yeah.
so many friends and obviously I'm in an old school studio with 2-inch tape.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and my partner owns this, but because of the studio, we have so many people that come and go, and we all work together. So like if Jeremy's doing a project, he might ask me to play violin or vice versa,
Totally.
you know. So
I
but
think
once
I
you
think I'm getting comfortable. Yeah, because I'm getting comfortable with that idea. Because otherwise I'm a control freak. And that's
Yeah.
where I'm like, okay, everybody stay away from me because I'm gonna yell at you if you play this wrong. Hopefully not literally. But like now I'm getting into this era in my life. Maybe you will hear this in an upcoming album. But I'm like, oh, like if you kind of like let go,
Mhm.
then things can happen that are really cool. But I'm just now getting into that. I'm sure you have years on me, so you've learned that before me.
It's hard to let go like that of wanting to be like in your head what you heard, and if somebody comes in and lays a part, you're like,
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, there's been so many times that somebody will come in and we'll say, okay, let's take a couple tries, and I'll be like, no way, that is like that wouldn't have even been in my mind. So I mean,
yeah.
but
And it's also about finding people you trust,
too.
right? Yes, yeah. Protective, and like, so you have to find people that you can let in, and then you're like, so I'm glad that I found some of those people for this album. This is the first one I've ever collaborated with. Actually, Alex did guitar on Peaks and Valleys and Closure too. But yeah, so it's exciting. I think, yeah, being in LA is like the perfect breeding ground for that kind of collaboration. I meet people all the time that I'm excited to work with, and I'm working with people right now. So yeah, it's awesome.
My nephew's in right outside of LA. He's a filmmaker too. He went to Chapman.
So, nice.
Chapman University.
That's a great college.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
He says it's a pretty cool area and progressive and
yeah, totally. Just lots of people like working.
Yeah. I bet that would be, well, I'm 48 now, so that would be kind of intimidating that, like, whoa, that's a lot. But I live in the middle of Iowa. So, I mean, that seems a little.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's a big difference for sure. Yeah,
it does, doesn't it? So, okay, I think the last song that we're going to share today is Till Death Do Us Part. Let's hear about that one. Obviously.
Okay, so Till Death Do Us Part. Yeah. it's the finale of the album, and pretty sure it was the last song I wrote. I was like thinking to it, I was like, is it? I'm pretty sure I had proof of concept of every other song before Till Death Do Us Part. So it's like a real genuine chronological finale, and I wanted to do a medley at the end of my album because I did a medley at the end of my last album, and I thought that was really special and kind of brings you together. It's like a conclusion paragraph, and then I also, so like throughout this album, I had all these emotions, and you kind of leave some lines on the cutting room floor, as it were, and like some things get left out, and so I kind of just like kept a running tally of all the things that I still wanted to say that hadn't been said yet. And I just put them, basically, this is like all the remaining information is like
Mhm.
till death do us part, like at the end of all the rest of the 17 songs. So it's just kind
Well,
of
you should have sent this package to your whoever,
yeah. No,
whoever
I
it
know.
was.
I think he's well aware that this
Yeah.
exists, and I would be surprised if he hasn't heard it. But but also I don't. That's not what it's about, right?
I know.
I think like I think it's such a good, I don't know. Till Death Do Us Part is kind of like my magnum opus at this time, I think. There's a lot of other people have other favorites, but this one just really kind of travels the whole emotional roller coaster, and I really love it. So
I
that
very
was
much feel
another
that
one
your
where
writing does create a story. I mean, you can feel the story. You know what I mean? It's
thank you.
yeah.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like cinematic in a way. Like that this is maybe where like my film production genes come into play. Like this song maybe is like for a short film or something because it's long.
Yeah, it is.
And it's like it's kind of like not suited to a conventional structure. Like it doesn't really have like a chorus.
Yeah.
And it's just me yelling at the microphone for 6 minutes and 14 seconds, I believe. And it's great. I love it.
Well, I felt you every step of the way, girl. So here we're going to
Thank
take
you.
a listen to it and let everybody know what we're talking about. Here we go with Till Death Do Us Part, again by Graice K.
Maybe our parents give us all our dysfunction. Me and my girl act as strangers. Can't go back to listening. Don't keep wishing around. He's not who you think. It's not gonna work out if you're sitting there asking, what if he does? Run.
And that was Till Death Do Us Part. 3 amazing songs. Now, I want to tell the people, like, I got online last night. I don't know if you started getting all these pings in the middle of the night, but I was subscribing to every Instagram and everything I could find and YouTube page. So why don't you tell everybody where they can find your stuff? And I did see that you have this, don't you have a donate tab? Was that on yours?
Yeah, on my website. Yes, I do.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I believe
totally.
in that so much that we got to help the musicians out there because, you know, it's a really difficult thing. So tell everybody what you got out there.
Yeah. So my name is spelled really weird. It's Graice. That's Grace with an I after the A, and it's Kay. So you can find me anywhere under Graice K. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube, and that's pretty much where I live. And yeah, I have a website. If you go on my Instagram, I have a link tree where you can find my website, you can find merch, and then you can also donate, which is just so appreciated and supports me a lot. And you can also find if I ever tour or like do a live show, you can follow me on my Bandcamp, which is in my link tree on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And you can also just find me at linktree/Graice K. And then, you can download my free lyric booklet if you want to read all the lyrics to my songs. It has like cool visuals that go with every song that I created.
That is a really cool idea. I've never heard anybody do that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that tonight if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. It's got like so many words in the album, and so I'm like, I kind of want people to like know what I'm saying if they're curious, and it's also a cool way to like show everybody what the song looks like in my head a little bit too. So yeah, and then we've got music videos coming out on my YouTube channel. I just wrapped the production of I'm Waiting for Love to Come Back Around. That's a music video that is going to come out soon. And then we have Spoilers in pre-production. And then If You Love It, Let It Die, Until Death Do Us Part should all be coming out this year. So we have a lot of exciting stuff. And
you're busy.
Listen to the album. Yeah, I like to, stay busy and it's fun. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. So yeah.
Oh,
That's where you can find
I've
me.
enjoyed getting to finally
Good.
meet you. I've enjoyed the
Good.
music and
Thank
it's so
you.
refreshing to hear your approach on how you're doing things. I think you'll inspire a lot of people out there that you don't have to go to, a studio.
Yeah.
You can do it. But again, with 10,000 hours, you have to master that craft too. You can't
Totally.
just,
Yes.
the
Yeah, and
quality.
people who, yeah, no, it's like so discouraging sometimes because I've been here, like you hear all this amazing music all the time, and like some people are just so incredibly talented, and you're like, how am I ever gonna get to that point?
Mhm.
But yeah, it is just like little by little, and you just listen and read and watch, and like
Mhm.
slowly I think you just build your own thing, and like you said, find your own style, and just keep going with what you have, because I think a lot of people get overwhelmed by like, I don't have this, I don't have that, how could I possibly get started? But
Right.
there are ways, so yeah, don't be discouraged.
Well, I invite you to keep writing, keep putting music out, and make sure to stay in touch with me anytime you want to do a
Yeah.
catch up, and you have new music. Let me know.
Yeah,
We'll do it again and get it out there. So
I would love that. Thank you so
yeah,
much, Heather. This has been
absolutely.
so lovely.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. And I was going to ask you, how did you find out about my podcast?
I like have been looking for music podcasts because
Okay.
I'm just like so hungry for new artists, and I was like, searching up like music podcasts, like new music podcasts, and you popped up, indie music podcast. So
Well,
I'm
good.
so glad I found you,
I'm
and
glad that
I
it's
like to
popping
listen to
up
your
in some.
episodes.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it
popping up
is.
somewhere.
And
So
you have great taste, because every single artist that you bring on, I'm so honored to be here, because
oh,
every
thank
single
you.
artist you bring on is so great. And your comments are spot on. You just have really great like comments and like perspectives on their music, and everybody sounds great. So you're
I
like
appreciate
a
that
really
so
good
much.
resource. Yeah,
Yeah,
of
I put
course.
out 4 albums and then I did 20 singles. And then I decided, I think it was about last March, I decided 90 songs, I'm done. Not done. I just decided to move on to other
Interesting.
ventures, in my
Yeah.
life. And
Well,
and
I
I've
love
enjoyed
that.
it. And yeah,
Good. Well, I'm glad that you decided to come on over to the podcasting world, because yeah,
I
this
didn't
has
want
been
to
great.
not have anything to do with music. I had to stay in it somehow, right? So,
Right, of course.
yeah, and I love supporting artists, original, hardworking, good talent like yourself. I love supporting it.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah.
Well, thank you. I really
Well,
appreciate it.
you got that. Stay in touch. And with that said, everybody, thanks for tuning in to Indie Music Room with Heather Kelly. And again, Miss Graice K, we really appreciate you being here.
You've been listening to the Indie Music Room with Heather Kelly. Be sure to listen every Saturday and Sunday right here on FortDodgeRadio.com and subscribe for all our past and upcoming shows. The Indie Music Room is a production of FortDodgeRadio.com.